I used to live in the city with my family, but one day I noticed a sore on my arm, and then I got another one, and then another one, and I thought, I'll just, see, you can't tell, I'll just pull down my sleeves and no one will know. And then I got more, and look, and I got more. Oh. And then I started getting, I can't. Oh, I better go show the priest. So I went to the priest, and he had a look at me, and he said, for 7 days, you're going to have to stay in isolation. You're going to have to be away from everybody for 7 days. And there's 9 other people here, and they have leprosy also. So we're going to put you in a special house away from everyone else for 7 days. And at the end of 7 days, we're going to see what's up with these sores. So all of these men got together, and they stayed in this house, just the 10 of them, for 7 days. And they did all the fun things that you probably do hanging out together. Do you suppose they played board games maybe? They talked about their families and told stories. We all know how men like to tell stories about the biggest fish that they caught, and the big buck that they shot. Big stories. And at the end of 7 days, they came back to see the priest. And the priest said, this is not looking good. You are not well. You're actually even worse than when we put you in that house 7 days ago. You, all 10 of you, have got to leave the city. You can't see your family anymore. And when anyone comes close to you, you have to shout, unclean, unclean, so that you will not spread your disease. So we left the city, and we were so upset. We never got to see our families. We didn't get to hang out with our friends. We didn't get to play with our toys. Big men have toys also. What do they have for toys? They have tools that they just love, especially tools that are power tools. Men love power tools. So they got to go outside of the city. And one day when they were sitting outside of the city, there came to them a rumor, a story, some kind of story. They weren't sure if it was true or not, but they were listening in. And you know what the story said? The story said, there is a man, and his name is Jesus, and he is healing all kinds of sicknesses. There was a man that was blind, he couldn't see, and Jesus healed him. And then there were men who couldn't hear, and Jesus healed ears. And then there were men who couldn't walk, and you know what? Jesus healed those as well. So they were, I wonder if Jesus can heal leprosy as well. And maybe one of them was like, no, he won't even come near us because we have leprosy and he's not going to want to catch it. Like, who wants to catch this? But they heard that Jesus was coming. They heard he was on his way. And when they seen him coming down the road, they started yelling, Jesus, Jesus, help, help us. And Jesus said, go to the priest. Remember at the first of the story, that's where they had to go because they got a sickness, and so they had to show their priest and see if they could stay amongst the people or not. Well, when the sickness goes away in those times, you had to show the priest as well, and he had to confirm, kind of like a doctor, that you were okay to come back to society. So Jesus told them. He didn't say, be healed. He didn't say any of that. He said, go show yourselves to the priest. So all the 10 men got together and they start going toward the priest. And as they're going, they're realizing that their spots are going away and their nose is growing back and they're clearing up, and they were super excited, and they're really, oh, he's done it. This is awesome. And one man, there was 10, but one man's like, oh, yes, done something so great for me. I must thank him. So he turned around and he ran back to Jesus and he fell down at Jesus' feet and he said, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, thank you. And he was just so thankful. And Jesus looked down at him and he said to the leper, he said, was there not 10 of you? And yes, there was 10 of us. And Jesus is like, where are the other 9? Why aren't they here thanking me? I wonder why. But this one man did. And he thanked Jesus and he praised and worshiped and had a great time like we do at church sometimes, just praising God for the wonderful things that he has done. And you know what happened? While he was worshiping and while he was praising, his fingers grew back that the leprosy had taken away. His nose come back. All of his sores went away. See, my sores are still here because my sores are made out of water paint. So I'm going to take and wash them off in a minute with some water. And then I'll take a picture later and you can see all of my sores are gone. But while he was praising, Jesus made him whole. He said, thy faith has made thee whole. He didn't wait until the priest said, yes, you're whole, you're ready, you can go back into society. Instead, he stopped when he realized the exciting thing that was happened and he thanked Jesus right then. He was so thankful for what God was doing in his life. No matter what anyone else said, he knew that God was touching him because he could feel it in his body. So he went back and his faith in saying thank you, he was made whole. Okay, I'm back. I'm whole. This story I thought would be good for right now because we know of a lot of people who are quarantined from everybody else so we do not spread disease. So we can kind of feel or know how these guys were feeling when they were quarantined. It gives us compassion for them because we're kind of going through a similar sort of situation. But while we are going through this situation, we know that God is with us and we are not alone. And God is sovereign and he has the whole world in his hands and there is nothing that has escaped his attention. Even though it seems crazy to us, God knew it was coming and he's already prepared a way for us. So, while everything is a bit crazy, we can still find things to be thankful for. We have our families. We have lots of time to spend together, which we don't always have, but now we do. We have food and we have clothing, and I bet you guys all have toys to play with, and you have time to play with them because you're home from school. So take a few minutes and think of all the things that you are thankful for. And don't forget to thank Jesus because it makes him feel really, really good when we come and we take notice and we take time to stop and say thank you when he's done really great stuff for us. Have a good Sunday, and we'll see you next week.